Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I'd like to begin with a moment of silence for the following. Geraldine Wasson Straub, a graduate of the North Syracuse Central School District. Elaine Gingold, a retiree of the North Syracuse Central School District. Patricia G. LaRose, a graduate and retiree of the North Syracuse Central School District. Jessica A. Aquino, a graduate of the North Syracuse Central School District. Maria Hamola, a retiree of the North Syracuse Central School District. Ronald Felice, a graduate of the North Syracuse Central School District, and Marcia Spinks, a graduate of the North Syracuse Central School District. Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Crabtree, yes.
I want to let everybody in the room know that we are one of these school districts that honor people that that experience. Difficult when we lose these people, and our school district fundamental basis is young people.
Thank you, Mr. Crabtree. We now start Well, the first of our two presentations, we have an ELA update. So Mr. Stone, I'll let you take over.
Okay, good evening, everyone. First, I would like to thank the board, superintendent, and cabinet for the opportunity to present an overview of our ELA program at North Syracuse. My name is Greg Stone. I'm the director of ELA and elementary education.
And I'm Nicole Kulikowski, District ELA and RTI Coordinator.
So I want to start with some data, and I want to recognize a few things before we dive into this. This is a data set. There are multiple data sets to look at whenever you're evaluating curriculum, student performance, and student growth. But I anchored to this. This is the New York State testing data. It's showing you the proficiency rate of our students over the past 5 years. A couple of things to point out. Obviously, 2020 and 21 is not in there since we didn't have testing in 2020 and the 21 data isn't out yet, nor will it really be that valid since a lot of students didn't take the test. But looking at state testing data is still something that we need to do. We need to do regularly. It is how the state evaluates school systems. It is how community members perceive school systems, and is something we need to be aware of. And it also is a measure because it gives us one of the only opportunities to compare our district against other districts, as well as the state in general. So a few things to point out with this data. What you're looking at here, like I said, is the last 5 years we had testing data. It is, as I pointed out, grades 3 through 8 combined. So it's showing our ELA program grades 3 through 8. Couple things to note: North Syracuse is in blue, Onondaga OCM BOCES is in the green, and the gray bar is New York State, all students in New York State. So a couple of things in the data that you probably stand out to you right away. On whole, we're kind of on par with that average for our BOCES. You can see we exceeded at times, but we're pretty close to the BOCES average, which means we're kind of middle of the pack for our BOCES. Rather concerning is you can see us and BOCES is significantly below the state. Yes, we've been closing and gaining things or gaining across time, but there's still a gap there. And again, this is proficiency. And so there are districts that perform much higher, certainly districts that perform much lower, but this is data that we need to be looking at, and it drives the work that we do to ensure that our students are reading on grade level proficiently. Again, this is a data set to look at, not the only data set, certainly not the only data set we look at as we're determining things for the district, but I want to point it out to the board since it is something we can anchor to across the state for right now. We'll talk more about data in a few minutes. So take a moment, if everyone could, and just review our literacy mission for North Syracuse. This mission was developed by our ELA committee 2 years ago. I want to point out one point that people always ask me questions about, and it's that third line of preparing our students for college and lifelong success. To clarify, it is our belief and our mission to prepare all students for college. Yes, there are multiple career paths, absolutely, and college is not the one and only career path. However, when you read the research that's out there, when you look at the trends in our society as a whole, in the nation and across the globe, you see that those service jobs are reducing and reducing, and all fields will require high levels of literacy for all students, regardless of whether going on to college or other pathways. So it's our mission to ensure that we're preparing students for that college level reading, regardless of where they go on beyond that. We know it's a major indicator of success later in life. Our goal as a committee in a district is to ensure that every student, every grade, is 100% reading proficiently with comprehension and nothing less. And until we have that for every grade, we have work to do, and we will continually come here and share the work we're doing and closing that gap and improving.
So how do we get there? Did I click it? So the first phase of our process is basically focusing on the kindergarten and fourth grade levels. So